Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I've given you guys 4 really long-ass informative videos today, but I'm on a roll. That's not even counting my other channel. I've been kind of bored this Sunday. So I thought I'll make a bunch of new content. So let's do some gossip and drama a little bit. Well, if you want to call it that, we can keep this informative, really. But apparently, after Ray Williams made an amazing squat, 1,005-pound squat with just a belt and knee sleeves. It's fucking ridiculous. It's mind-blowing. And so nothing I'm saying here is taking away from this guy's achievement. I mean, it's as a strength athlete and a power lifter, the guy is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there's no other word I can use for it. If I just said, oh, he's fantastic or really good, that'd be an understatement. I mean, nobody else has done this. No one else has done it ever. So I'm not detracting from what the guy's doing here. But Layne Norton's the first one to jump in. First one to jump in that I see coming through my feed anywhere that people are linking to me, defending his natty status. So let's talk a little bit about fake natties defending other fake natties. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, see if I can skill up here, finish out this box while we talk about this. You know, this is interesting, and what got mentioned in there is I just did the video the other day talking about, what's his name? George Layne, talking about he has injected an IPF record holder personally. And they joke about how easy the drug testing is to get through. I've told you guys for years now, drug testing is a joke. Just because someone's drug tested doesn't mean shit. It means absolutely nothing. And, you know, at this point in the game, it's ridiculous that anyone actually pretends like drug testing works. And what's ridiculous on top of that is that, I've helped guys beat drug tests at the university level. I know plenty of guys who've done it at higher up levels I've talked to. And there's a whole industry around it. There's a whole industry around it that makes a lot of money. Just look at the stuff with Balco Labs. Look at the interview that the guy with them did with Joe Rogan. I've said his name, Victor Conte. Victor Conte's interview was an amazing expose on this topic. And the fact that so many people get around the drug testing and there's a whole business around it, that someone like Layne, who has a degree in biochemistry, really wants to pretend like it works and that he couldn't get someone through IPF testing personally, that he doesn't have the knowledge to do so, is outrageous. And it just goes to show you what this guy is capable of, and that he's just willing to ignore all that when he knows full well he has the actual practical scientific knowledge to get any of these athletes through the IPF test if he were to choose to do so. It's within his knowledge. And so for him to pretend like drug testing works is just downright amazing. But you know what? That comes as no surprise to me from a guy who said, and I quote, Jason Blaha, that son of a bitch, I would pour gas to watch him burn. Shows you what sort of a psycho fuck he is. You know, think about the people he sicked on my family. So that being said, this doesn't really surprise me in any way that he's jumping up doing that, because, the guy's a fake natty himself. But the idea to have the audacity when he knows that he has the knowledge to get someone through that testing, if he were to make the conscious choice to do so, he has all the knowledge required to do that because of his own science background, that he could get them through that test. For him to pretend the testing works is just outrageous. In fact, as much as he charges for coaching service, he could easily, with his knowledge, if he were so inclined, tack on a service to help those athletes through there. He has all the knowledge to do so if he were to want to undertake an unethical business. But we know a man of his ethics would never do such a thing. I want to throw that out there. But yeah, he could absolutely get away with running such a business, and he knows that he could. And so to have the audacity to pretend like the testing works or it means anything is just crazy. Oh, they were tested outside of competition. Well, so fucking what? Just like I've been saying, just like Victor Conte's been saying, just like George Layne is saying, so what? That doesn't mean anything. And so to put on this facade is just ridiculous. And it's like, why is Layne always the first one to jump up and defend these people? What's his stake in the game? What's his financial interest? What's his personal interest in defending these fake natties so much? I don't know. Good question. I don't have the answer. Sure, he knows what it is. I don't. That's his own personal motivations. But, that's the crazy thing when it comes down to all of this. People want to defend the fake Natty thing, and they want to defend stuff like the IPF as if the drug testing matters. And at the end of the day, it doesn't. It doesn't mean shit. These guys are on drugs just like everybody else. And you know what? Here's the thing. People want to act like it's an insult to a guy like Ray Williams to say he's on drugs. No, it isn't. It's not an insult at all. People be like, well, you're just saying it because you can't do it. Yeah, well, neither can you, and neither can the other guys who are on 10 grams of fucking gear, who are genetically gifted, who are training under the top coaches also. They can't do it either. Some of these other champions can't do it on unlimited amounts of drugs on 10 grams of gear. So to say that he's using gear isn't an insult. He is still beating the shit out of people on 9 and 10 grams of gear a week. He's still whooping them. And with the drug testing, he probably is using less than they are. So let's just be realistic here. When you got to beat drug testing, you can't use unlimited amounts of anything that you want. You just can't. There are rules that you've got to do. There are things you've got to time, and there are limitations to what you can put in your body. So the thing is, to say that the guy is on drugs is not an insult because he's beating everybody else who's on drugs. That's not an insult. That's still saying, yeah, but you're still the best in the world, even among drug users. It's not an insult at all. The insult is the audacity of these lying sacks of shit who try to make us think that the drug testing works. The heads of the IPF pretend like their drug testing works because they want their athletes in the Olympics. Well, we know the Olympic testing doesn't work either. We've got plenty of evidence of that. I mean, how many tests have we had for even crappy drugs that you don't even think people use anymore because they have a 72-hour detection life? Like what happened in the 2012 games. Remember, they spent $4 billion on drug testing. And they developed a new test in 2013. And what happened when they retested the clean urine samples using a new metabolite test? They found 200 new positives for turinabol. You know why they found it? Because it used to have a 72-hour detection time, right? A 72-hour detection time in urine. Well, they found a way to make it to test it a week, 7 to 10 days instead of just 3 days, right? Well, they came up with 200 new positives for it that had come up clean during the Olympics, and they couldn't throw them out because they can't retroactively apply a new drug test that didn't exist at the time. Because what the athletes are told is that they can't be caught using any of the current testing available. That's the rules. And the testing didn't exist then. But the thing is, when you look at that, you go, really, what sort of broke-ass countries are still using turinabol? They're using a drug with a 72-hour detection time in urine? That's got to be the really poor countries doing it. So what are the countries who actually have money and people who have resources doing? But all of those athletes, those 200 turinabol users, still got to keep all their placings. Think about that. And they found 200. That's after spending $4 billion, and the $4 billion didn't catch them. Those same urine samples had been tested using those methods. So even the Olympics don't work, and these lying sacks of shit want to pretend like their testing works, and you got all these guys like Layne and everyone else jumping up defending it as if the drug testing actually means anything. It's a total dog and pony show. It's bullshit, and everyone defending the drug testing, playing this little game, is pulling the wool over your eyes. And I think that's the insult. The insult is not to say that this guy's on gear. The insult is that these lying sacks of shit had the audacity to look at all of us and say the drug testing, they're tested, that means they're clean, when they know better. These officials know better, and guys like Layne with his science background knows better. That's the insult. The insult is for them to look us in the eyes and say these things and treat us like we're fucking retarded. That's the insult. They actually think that we're fucking stupid enough to believe that. They think that we're as retarded as Jason Genova. That's what they think, and that's what they treat us like, and that's the insult. You want to see an insult? That's the insult. That people like Layne or the IPF officials or anyone else tell us that the drug testing actually works or means anything, and they treat us like we're fucking stupid. That's the insult. Saying the guy is on gear when he's beating thousands of guys who are also on gear is not an insult. The guy is still number one. He's still whooping everybody's ass. And you can't take that away from him. Even him being on drugs doesn't take that away from him in any way. He's still winning. He's still on top. It is what it is. But don't stand there and lie to us about it. That's the insult. And all of you out there who've been told by all these agencies and organizations and individuals that drug testing actually works, who tried to convince you of that, you should be angry. You should be angry that these people have looked you in the eyes and bold-faced lied to you for some sort of financial gain or profit. That's what you should be angry about. That's the real insult. Think about it. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. And this box is full.